You ignore the warning signs that your body is giving you. The tension, the exhaustion, the irritability, the fatigue. And let me say this clearly. Those are not personality traits. Those are alarm bells. Hi, my friend, and welcome to the Bounce Back Black Woman podcast. I'm Del, and with God's help, I've overcome some of the toughest trials in life that I could ever have imagined. Do you find yourself struggling to move beyond a heartbreak or a hardship, asking God, why me? Well, I'm here to help women just like you heal and build the resilience to overcome life's greatest trials. If you long for joy and confidence again, this podcast is for you. So grab your headphones and those hardships. Let's talk. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Bounce Back Black Woman. Today, I want to speak to you less from the place of my own personal story and more from the place of what I've come to know. Not just through my own healing, but through years of living, observing, leading, mentoring, and walking alongside women, especially Black women, as we navigate heartbreak, responsibility, faith, and survival. As we move closer to this new year, and as I begin to offer you deeper support, tools rooted in intentional living, and curated spaces for healing, it feels important to name some truths clearly. Not emotionally, not defensively, but honestly, because clarity is one of the greatest gifts that healing actually gives us. So let me tell you what I know to be true about women, and particularly Black women. For years, we have carried this emotional weight of situations that were never ours to fix, never ours to manage, never ours to heal, never ours to solve, and sometimes never even ours to understand. And I want to be very clear here. This is not because women are weak, and it's not because Black women don't know how to say no. This is conditioning. This is training. This is survival. Many women have been praised from a very young age, not for their boundaries, but for their abilities and capacity. The capacity to endure dysfunction. The capacity to hold everyone else together, the capacity to smooth things over, the capacity to stay silent for the sake of peace, the capacity to absorb emotional labor that was never assigned to them. And over time, my friend, that praise turns into pressure. Pressure to keep on carrying, pressure to keep giving, pressure to keep showing up, even when it costs you. And from a coaching lens, this is what I call learned self-abandonment. Not because you don't care about yourself, but because you were never really taught that you were allowed to care about yourself. So here's how self-abandonment shows up and how it looks often in real life. You say yes when your soul is screaming no, not because you really want to, but because you feel guilty not to. You shrink your own truth to avoid conflict. You water down your needs, your voice, and your emotions. You stay loyal to people who consistently drain you, and you extend grace that has never really been earned and never reciprocated. You ignore the warning signs that your body is giving you. The tension, the exhaustion, the irritability, the fatigue. And let me say this clearly. Those are not personality traits. Those are alarm bells. You put everyone else's priorities above your own. You show up for others more consistently than you show up for yourself, and sometimes more consistently than they show up for you. You remain in rooms where your spirit feels unsafe. And those might be rooms at home, definitely might be rooms at work, or other places, sometimes even rooms at church, because leaving feels like disappointment, even though staying feels like slow emotional death. You treat your dreams like hobbies, but you treat everyone else's needs like responsibilities. This is mother wound behavior. This is father wound behavior. This is strong friend behavior. This is survival mode behavior. But what it is not is healed woman behavior. So here's the part that we don't talk enough about. When you constantly carry what isn't yours, you don't just feel tired. You lose clarity, and you begin to second guess yourself, override your intuition. You start explaining too much, and you stay too long. You confuse loyalty with responsibility. And eventually, you wake up one day realizing that you've been showing up for everybody else's life while quietly disappearing from your own. And that, my friend, is not healing. That is survival mode at its highest. And survival, while necessary at times, is not meant to be permanent. So here's the shift from survival to intentionality. Healing starts when you stop asking, what more can I do? And you start asking, what am I no longer responsible for? This is where intentionality matters. Not the loud, performative kind, and not the kind that posts quotes all day on Instagram, but keeps moving in life the same way. This is the quiet, disciplined kind of intentionality, the kind that shows up in your decisions, who you respond to, what you choose to engage with, and what you simply decide to walk away from, what you carry with you, what you release from your heart and your spirit, and what you finally allow to be someone else's work. And because clarity alone can still feel overwhelming, this is where support matters too. That's one of the reasons that I've shared my 26 ruthlessly intentional tactics, not as a checklist and not as something that you are expected to do perfectly, but as a grounding guide that's rooted in scripture and reflection and gentle guidance. It's meant to help you slow down, friend, discern what's actually yours to carry, and to make quieter, healthier choices as you heal, moving into 2026. This is what I mean when I talk about ruthless intentionality. Not cruelty, not selfishness, but clarity without apology. From a faith perspective, this is about alignment. Because God never asked you to be everything for everybody. He never asked you to manage what He didn't assign to you. And He never asked you to sacrifice your wholeness for the sake of appearing strong. You see, there's a difference between compassion and overfunctioning, overstepping, over-owning. There's a difference between love and self-erasure. There's a difference between service and sacrifice that was never required. Jesus withdrew. Jesus rested. Jesus set boundaries, even when people were disappointed. And if that was modeled for us, why is it that we keep believing that we are called to exhaustion? So let me ask you this, gently but honestly, friend. Where have you been carrying emotional responsibility that was never assigned to you? Who have you been managing out of guilt or obligation or fear of being misunderstood? And that can include your adult children. That can include your spouse or significant other. That can include your parents. Who is it? And what would change, I mean truly change, if you allowed yourself, without guilt, to finally set it down? Because healing is not about becoming harder or grinding harder. It's about becoming clearer. Clear about your role, clear about your limits, clear about what is yours to hold and what is not yours to hold. So as we move into a new season together, this work becomes more intentional and it will become more supported. My friend, I want you to remember this. Your bounce back does not begin with doing more. It begins with choosing differently, choosing with clarity, choosing with courage, and choosing with ruthless intentionality. And I'll see you in the next episode. Well, that's it for today, my friend. I really hope this episode inspired, encouraged, or just plain comforted you. If so, please share it with a friend who might be struggling in her own healing journey. And if you take a moment to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, you'll help other women find encouragement through their heartbreak. Remember that God is holding your hand along this journey. And guess what? I'm holding the other. Life is short, so bounce back, Black woman.